This is the bottom of the boat, glued on. The forward section looks pretty nice with the holes drilled in it for the steering post and for the tiller post. And we've got it flipped over here because we're going to coat the bottom of it. We have spent the afternoon putting together all of the little components that are necessary to build the cockpit sole, and all of them have been drawn lightly onto the bottom skin, what will be the inside of the bottom skin of the boat, and that will allow us to coat it the same way that we did the forward skin. And here are all the little components we made. Quite a tedious process, very much like building a model airplane or something. All of this has been planed so that it is exactly the same thickness as a piece of half-inch blue board, so that when we go to fill all of that stuff in, everything will be level when we put our cockpit sole in place. Here's our boat with the clamps on it, and our unique but quite effective clamping system, in this case weights, holding all this thing down tight against the strong back. Basically these pieces are just sort of slid in here, quite tightly fitted, and globbered on the strong back after we traced around where they were all supposed to go, and then set into place, and things look pretty good. Last night we got the forward section of our cockpit laid out and installed. Now we are working on the aft section behind the block here that is the attachment for the back of the bobstay, and we are now into the area where we are going to have to put our holes here and here to attach our plank to. So this is framing back in the plank area, and we're going to finalize it, finish it off with another piece, not exactly what the plan says. And in the process of doing that, we arrive at how to lay out the back of the seat, which we know is supposed to be about 45 degrees. So we've drawn a line here on the side of the boat that would come from a point where the floor of the boat would come in here. Let's just grab that real quick, pull it forward, and drop it into place. So we need to follow this 45-degree angle, and basically that needs to be from a plane from here to there. And now that we've got that established, we now have to figure out how to make this peculiar shape back here on our piece of plywood, and we have a kind of a simplistic way to do this. Basically we got one side of it worked out on a piece of cardboard, and we set our piece of cardboard into this and cut it with a pair of scissors until it's the right shape. Then we flip it over onto another piece of cardboard and make a duplicate of it. Then we take the two pieces, set them back into the place where they need to go, describe a line on center, and let them cross over. And what we have there is the shape that we need for our seat back. All we've got to do now is trim it and make one out of plywood. Here's our seat storage compartment area. We have to make a bulkhead back here, and we are doing this with a piece of cardboard. Started with measurements and set into place. Cardboard's scrunchy, so you can kind of crunch it around until it fits. And as we can see, our angle was not quite the same for the seat back, so we are making a modification to it, and then we can cut these out of our piece of 3mm plywood. We were busy last night and got the remaining portions of our cockpit floor constructed and glued in. These include the framing members and also the plank attachments. And then we proceeded to create this piece, which is not in the plans, but our boat was starting to cave in at the top and not be level anymore, so we decided we would add this since it's cedar and weighs virtually nothing. It did mean that when we created the piece in the plans, this piece with the two pieces of plywood and the foam in the middle of it, we had to notch it out in here to accept this piece. This makes it considerably easier to build. Additionally, our piece placed in here is not in the plans either. Normally the plans simply have this piece of plywood going all the way down to the floor with no framing in it. And once again with no framing, you have the cockpit deck coming back and simply meeting the other piece of plywood. This gives both of them something to rest on, much easier. This piece here carries the load of our sail blocks, and that glues to our tailpiece. We have a little notch in here that allows this to carry the uplift as much as possible. And in the interest of helping that, we added this piece, also not in the plan, as the 3 mil deck material is very lightweight stuff. It's probably heavy enough glued to this, but we kind of thought we'd go for this anyway. Ours is a little shorter than normal because, well, it's what we had for stock, and our piece of hardware that this attaches to this is considerably shorter than that, so it shouldn't be a problem.